All right, good day, everybody, and welcome to Headline Hits with LW. It is Monday, August the 8th, 2022. There's a few things in the news today that I'd like to report on, so let's jump right into it. Let's dive into it. So, this was brought to my attention this weekend, and I read through this article. Wow, that's all I can say is wow. Biden's deputies open new route for world migrants. Um, just as you think it couldn't get any worse with our southern border, listen to what Biden is doing. President Joe Biden's border chief has opened a new route for the global migrants seeking jobs and housing in the United States. Okay, I'm going to stop right there for just a minute and say, wait a minute. There are a ton of Americans out there who are still looking for jobs. And me personally, I am homeless and I'm looking for a house. I'm looking for a home to rent for right now. So why are we bringing in thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens to come in here and take those jobs from us and to take those houses from us? This is ridiculous. The faster route uses boats to carry roughly 1,500 migrants per day from ports in Colombia, around the deadly Darien Gap Trail and up to ports in Panama, according to Todd Benson, a former intelligence official who now works for the Center of Immigration Studies. So, not only are our southern border just wide open, but now we want to fast track these people. Why? Why is that? You got to ask yourself that question. All right, next headline. Um, Marr says, quote, terrorists are running wild, end quote. With Taliban cooperation in Afghanistan, Biden messed up the withdrawal. Yeah, we talked about this months ago. But what I find strange is now Bill Barr is actually putting this out there. During the, quote, overtime, end quote, segment on Friday's Real Time, host Bill Maher said that in Afghanistan, quote, terrorists are running wild and the Taliban are completely back in charge and they reneged on everything, end quote. And that while he thinks President Joe Biden made the right decision on getting out of Afghanistan, quote, they had time to plan it. And when they finally pulled out, it was like they only thought about it for 2 days, end quote. Um, Afghanistan was a complete debacle. And months later, Bill Barr, you're just now finally getting it. You're just now finally seeing that. Wow, you guys are a little bit late to the party, aren't you? All right, let's hit the next headline. Now, we've talked about this several times. It's back in the news cycle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there. Then Vice President Joe Biden met with CCP linked energy executives at White House in 2014. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I really believe that Hunter Biden is going to play a huge part in what happens not only for Joe Biden in the last 2 years of this presidential term, but also in 2024. I think there's a lot of things that are about ready to really happen. Vice President Joe Biden reportedly met at the White House with two Chinese energy executives who work for the CCP linked company. He met with them on July 25th of 2014, and that all came off of Hunter Biden's laptop. While Joe Biden and his staff have claimed at least 7 times that the president has had no part in the family business, documentation on the laptop reveals that he has been involved with the family business at least 18 times over 9 years. The latest example comes from the White House visitor logs, which show that Joe Biden met with the CCP linked executives on with just 1 day's notice. That is from the Daily Mail that reported on that. Now, we reported on that months ago and told you guys here is some of the proof that Joe Biden is lying. So, Joe Biden's future is very, very grim. Um, I don't think he's going to make it to 4 years, to be honest with you. All right, next headline. Communist News Network, Stelter, quote, Hunter Biden is not just a right wing media story. it's a real problem for Joe Biden in 2024. Yeah, here we go. CNN, Communist News Network anchor Brian Stelter said on Sunday on his show Reliable Sources that ongoing federal investigation of President Joe Biden's son Hunter Biden is not just a right-wing story. Stelter added Hunter's legal jeopardy could endanger his father's chances of his 2024 reelection run. So it's all coming out and it's not looking good. And this is where I stand with this. I think it's about damn time that they start rounding people up. That's what I think. I think there should be some people that break out in handcuffs. That's what I think. That's where I'm going to leave that headline. If you want to read more, you can catch it on Breitbart. So here's something that I want to bring to your guys' attention. Pay attention. This is when the wolves in sheep's clothing constantly try to slide things into these bills that normal, everyday American citizens like you and me don't pay attention to. So, the ATR, taxes on fuel, businesses, medicine, and more in the Inflation Reduction Act. This is the one that's supposed to be bipartisan. Don't forget that the Republicans are supporting this, and this is something that just passed on the congressional floor just over the weekend. So listen to this. Americans for Tax Reform, the ATR, has listed several taxes in the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. Now, remember, this bill is supposed to reduce inflation. This bill actually throws fire on inflation. So listen to this. That passed on the Senate floor on Sunday, which Democrats now hail as a, quote, climate bill, since the Congressional Budget Offices says it will hardly reduce inflation. Boy, you can't make this up. Now listen to what taxes are. These taxes include taxes on fossil fuels, which will raise energy costs for working class families, still struggling with the high gas prices. So we just had a little bit of relief, which Joe Biden and the Democrats are going to take full credit of that. Hey, look at us. We're running here in November of 2022, and we're running in November of 2024. Look at all the great things that we've done. We actually reduced the cost of fuel for you at the gas pump, even though we're the ones that caused the increase in the first place. American families are still struggling with these high gas prices. And what are they going to do? They're going to tax us back into more and higher energy costs. Taxes on businesses that will affect consumers and entrepreneurs. So all you people out there who may be an entrepreneur like myself, who want to start and create a new business, there's going to be higher taxes for that. Taxes on medicine. So for some of you who have Medicaid, Medicare, you're relying on some of these medications, there are going to be higher taxes on that. And taxes on affecting pensions. So for those of you who have pensions, guess what? They're coming after your pensions. They want more of it. They want a bigger percentage of taxes on your pensions than what you already have. Why am I bringing this to your attention? Because you need to bring this to the attention of your family and friends who are even for 1 second thinking that they might vote for Joe Biden again. Notably, President Joe Biden promised that the bill will, quote, bring down family energy bills by an average of $500 a year, end quote. And that he would not tax those earning less than $400,000 a year. But the ATR's analysis suggests that he will not only violate both of those promises, but he's an absolute liar. All right, here you go. Last two headlines for today. I know this has been in the news since Friday and all over the weekend. I just thought I would hit on it here for just a second. Israel is routing Palestinian Islamic Jihadi after 48 hours of fighting. So, Israel went in there and, I guess, cleaned house. So after 48 hours of fighting, Israel appears to have the decisive upper hand in the fighting with the Iranian-backed Palestinian Islamic Jihad, the PIJ. I mean, that'd be easier for me to say, maybe, the PIJ, a terrorist group that allegedly had been planning intimate attacks on Israel when the war began on Friday. Last Monday, Israel arrested a senior PIJ leader in the West Bank as PIJ appeared to attack Israel's Gaza border communities in retaliation. Israel launched airstrikes on Friday that killed PIJ leader actually a lot of them, and then fired hundreds of rockets that have fired hundreds of rockets on civilians in Israel. Over the past 2 days, PIJ has fired about 600 rockets at Israel, including Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Of those, about 220 managed to fly towards civilian population centers, and of those, roughly 97% were intercepted by the Iron Dome. Well, there you have it. All right, last headline for today. Hickenlooper now claims Inflation Reduction Act is reckless spending, not addressing climate change is more expensive. Now, be careful here. I'm telling you right now, I'm pretty emotional about this article. You can catch it in Breitbart. These guys are out of their flipping minds. On Friday's broadcast of Communist News Network's Inside Politics, Senator John Hickenlooper, a Democrat from Colorado, the great state of Colorado, folks, here you go. This idiot here responded to claims by Senator Rick Scott, Republican from Florida, that Inflation Reduction Act reconciliation bill is Democrats using the inflation crisis to justify reckless government spending by stating that the cost of nothing addressing climate change is far will be outweighed what it is spending to get clean wind, clean energy, and clean air. So this is what I'm going to say about this nonsense. It's a bunch of hogwash. It really is a bunch of hogwash. We all know that the clean New Deal, the Green New Deal, whatever you want to call that crap, it's ineffective. But these guys are using this bill to load it up with all kinds of fat pork. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to line their pockets. So I just wanted you guys to pay attention to that because it's just more deceit. It's more deception. These guys are nothing but absolute liars, and we've got to get them out of office. All right, guys, that's all I have for today for Headline Hits. Don't forget to join us back here at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Podbean for The Warrior and the Hammer. We've got a great conversation this afternoon for you guys. And then don't forget to check back in at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube for the big show. Love you all. God bless.